What's going on, people? Hope you're having a good day, as I am. I want to make a video about taking responsibility. Because when I was watching my recent video, I mentioned something about taking responsibility, and it just sparked off this. Because basically, we all, you see, we deceive ourselves into thinking that we are taking responsibility for ourselves and we're thriving and doing all right in this society because you see, to us, as long as we're making money, then it gives us this illusion that we are taking responsibility for ourselves and that we are mature and we're doing the right thing because we're growing career wise or we're building something monetary, which is, of course, that's part of taking responsibility, and we all have to do it, or else we won't survive. But what I'm trying to say is that it's like that's the only part we want to take responsibility in. We don't want to take responsibility in other areas of our life, like emotionally. That's the main place we don't want to take responsibility. And that's the place that we need to be taking responsibility. Because when you don't take responsibility for your emotions and you don't delve into yourself and really try and see why you operate and deal with people in certain ways and why you have certain defense mechanisms and why you think that it's weak to expose these things and to show these things. Not saying to walk around showing it constantly. I don't mean that when I'm talking. I don't mean to just become an open book and walk around the street open, because I'm not doing that. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that we need to become aware of ourselves and aware of the reasons why we operate in certain ways and why we deal with people in certain ways and why we react to certain situations, because there's a reason why. We've been through some trauma in our life that has brought us to this place and has brought us to a place of blaming the world, envying, feeling like it's weak to have these parts, to have these insecurities, to feel a bit inferior, to, you know what I'm saying, to look at the world and feel like people are doing better than you. Like, there's nothing wrong. There is something wrong with feeling like that. But what I'm trying to say is that you're not an alien. Do you know what I mean? You're not the only one who feels like that. There's many of people who feel like that. Majority of the world are feeling like that. And it's not until we start having these type of conversations and start opening up and really coming out, obviously with the close ones, with the people you feel trusted with. We've got to start this off in our own little networks. I'm not saying to go out in the world. Do whatever feels right for you, for your soul journey. I'm doing this because this is my soul journey. I feel compelled to do it. I'm not telling you guys to do that, but I'm telling you guys to get in tune with who you are and bring your expression to this world, so you can alleviate your unhappiness and alleviate them feelings inside of you, so we can embrace you, so you can stop walking around feeling like a rejected, hurt soul, feeling like the whole world is rejecting you, and really and truly it's just your own perception of yourself rejecting your own self. And you think you're doing the world's thinking for them. You think that when you put yourself out there or when you become who you are, that your friends are going to not accept you, or your girlfriend or boyfriend ain't going to accept you, or your family's not going to accept you. That's your perception. That's because of things that's happened in the past. That's why I'm saying you have to take responsibility and look into it. Why do I react like this? Why do I feel like this? First question, am I happy? If you're not happy, then bam, you need to start doing self-work, unless you want to live your life unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want to be unhappy for the rest of your life. We have to do these things. We have to take responsibility. We have to get honest with self. And then in the long run, as you do in your process, you will start feeling like you can get honest with others, which is causing the healing one by one. Because when you've risen your vibration and you're walking with that vibration and you're talking in that vibration and you're vibrating with that energy, You're spreading it everywhere you go. Same way when you're walking around thinking that you're a savage and a wicked man and you got that vibration. You're spreading that everywhere you go as well. I've been there. I've been lost in that trap, that fearful trap where I feel like I have to be a certain thing and stay and act a certain way to keep people at bay. Because I don't want them to know what's going on inside. I'm questioning things that I don't feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm a human. You see? You go into this savage mode and you're from the road, you start forgetting that. And then people start looking at you as like you're not a human because you're putting that out there. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's all, there's nothing. And really underneath, you're crying. Really underneath, you don't really feel too good about yourself. But you put on this, you see what I'm saying? That's the reality. But when you get so deep into it and you've spent so many years in it, you might not even be able to connect with your consciousness anymore. So this stuff that I'm saying might just be alien to you. You might be lost. You might be thinking, you know what? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But if that's the case, then this is the wrong platform you're at. Because this is about people getting honest. This is about me getting honest with myself. And showing people that's the only way forward. It's the only way out of this. Honesty, truth. It's not going to happen overnight. I still got things that I'm working on constantly. I've still got certain things that I'm doing that I want to stop. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a process. It's not overnight. You got to eliminate things one by one. Sometimes you just get the spirit in you and you just get that strength out of nowhere, bam, to just stop something. Where it could have been taking you 5-10 years to try and stop this, and all of a sudden one day, that's it. That's spirit. But you see, when you tap into the spirit more and you start speaking your truth, being your truth, vibrating in it, it becomes more powerful. Then you see the things, you see the outcomes, you see the rewards, then you know you don't believe no more. You know. We are going into the age of knowing. The age of belief is played out now. We need to know who we are. That's why I keep saying the religions and all this, like, yeah, it guided us for a certain place. It did. It helped us to get back into tune with spirituality. But now it's time to move forth. Now it's time to realize that this is not about no truth, no one truth. This is about our truth. I have my own truth. You have your own truth to bring to this reality. Yeah, it's all love and light. Yeah, we're all traveling to the same place. But there's so many ways to get to this thing. There's so many different expressions, expressing love, expressing light. There's so many different ways of expressing the same thing. That's the beauty of us. They try to get us to think we all have to do the same thing and act the same and talk the same and dress the same and look the same. And no. That's why we're so angry. That's why we're so upset. Because we keep keeping ourselves in this captivity and we're not allowing ourselves to be free and be who we are because of these perceptions that we've picked up along the way. You see what I'm saying? It's deep. But we have the power to get out of it. Every single one of us. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what you have done. I am not judging you because I have no right to judge you. You're judging yourself. Same way I was judging myself. I still do it. And I got to work on these parts. You know what I'm saying? When I hear that thought, I got to take that thought out of my mind and replace it. Don't allow that thought to fester into another one and a feeling, and then next thing I'm in a lower vibration. This is inner work. We can all do it. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're sitting in. I don't care what you've been through, what you've done. As long as you have truth in your heart and you're ready to let go, you're really ready to let go. You're ready to face your demons. You're ready to admit the things that you've done without blaming other people. You're ready to embrace the spirit. You can go. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Don't let any of these movements, any of these religions tell you that you can't. That's what they've told us in the past. There's certain people that are just bad and certain people that are good. Yeah, there is certain people that won't make this transition. But it doesn't mean that they don't have the ability. That's what I'm trying to say. It means they've made a choice to not do it. We all have the ability because we all came from the light. That's what I'm trying to show people. That's what I'm trying to teach people. That's my word. Because I know that. I don't believe it. I know it. I know. Yeah, a lot of people ain't going to take that too kindly because I have a knowing. But that's me. That's my spirit. And I embrace my spirit. And I want you lot to embrace yours because it's beautiful. And it's unique. And you're going to bring something to this world that nobody's ever brought before. I'm telling you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I never seen it as that before. Because I was trapped in the lower self. I was afraid to express in case people didn't accept me. Well, guess what? If them people don't accept you, it's only because they don't know who they are. So when they see you speaking truth, it scares them. Because it touches something inside, but they don't really want to admit it yet. They're not ready yet. So then they're going to ridicule you. They're going to ridicule you and make you look bad. And try and call you mad. You see what I'm saying? That's how it is. That's how this thing works. When you speak what a lot of people are afraid to, they'll try and label you something to put you down. You see? That's how this thing works. But guess what? I don't care. I don't give a damn. Because I know me. I know me. And I am not going to let a bunch of people who don't know their self have an effect on my inner world. You see what I'm saying? I have done in the past a lot. And it stopped me and it slowed me down. You see? But I've overcome that. And we all can. And it's a work in progress. I'm still working, like I always say. I am not perfect and I don't claim to be. So we have to take responsibility for our emotions, for our feelings, and stop walking around harboring this pain, harboring these things, and then hurting other people. Because we won't face ourselves. And hurt people. So when you're carrying pain, it's very easy for you to react. It's very easy for you to get angry and rail up and, you know what I'm saying, and take things too far. It's easy. I've done it. So the only way is by taking responsibility and start understanding why you operate in these ways. That's the only way. If you got to remove certain people out of your life, you got to do what you got to do for you. Nobody else is going to do it for you. There's no Messiah coming for you. Get that out of your head. There's no guy that's going to come and save us. So if any of you lot are out there waiting for someone to come, I'm telling you, the guy is not coming. I'm telling you, the guy is not coming. You know what I'm saying? All these religions talking about messiahs and this and that, and it's going to be a savior in the last days. And there is no one man coming to save us. What would make the world think that there's one man that could come and save this whole world? It's us waking up, our consciousness rising, us awakening to who we truly are. That is the second coming. And until we start putting that, letting go of these little differences that we have, really going within one by one. Like, don't go around trying to forgive people and solving your little issues until you've dealt with yourself. Trust me, don't do that. You can't do that. It doesn't work like that. This is deep. This is reality. We are all on this earth to evolve and to rise up. Doesn't matter how much you're trying to slow it down, you're trying to stagnate, you're trying to play around, you're trying to, you know what I mean, you're indulging in lower self things and you don't want to let go. Doesn't matter how much you do it, one day you're going to have to transcend. You are creating your life every day unconsciously. You're creating your future every day unconsciously. Everything you do and say now is creating your future. So do you want to be creating your future consciously, or do you want to be creating it unconsciously? That's the question you got to ask yourself, because you're creating it. There's no way of getting out of creating it, because you're a co-creator. So do you want to consciously be aware of what you're creating and what you're drawing, attracting to you, or do you want to unconsciously attract things to you and don't know what it is and don't know why these things are coming into your life because of the way you're vibrating? Which one would you choose? Because I know which one I'm choosing. It's a no-brainer for me. You know what I'm saying? So let's start taking responsibility for our life, people, and start growing up, especially us, our age. You know, like the younger ones are looking up to us. You know what I'm saying? The same way I looked up to the older ones. So we have to set examples and know how we're moving, and stop acting like their age, because then it's not giving them no hope. But looking up and thinking, well, the man that's 30 plus are acting like that. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying all people are, but I'm saying there's a lot of people out here, and we're out here and we're caught up in these lifestyles and we're caught up in this bullshit. And deep down, a lot of us know that it's bullshit. We want to get up out of it, but it's like we're waiting for something. What are we waiting for? Well, what are you waiting for? Because I'm not. What are you waiting for? You know what I'm saying? What are you waiting for? If we make this rise up out of the bullshit. Love yourself. Realize that you are great. Stop hiding your greatness. Show it. Let it radiate. And then you will attract whatever you love, whatever you desire. You will attract it when you start radiating your light and you start shining. That's how beautiful God is. That's how beautiful the universe is. That's how beautiful reality is. You get what you want. Whatever you got in your heart, whatever you got coming out of your mouth, whatever you're thinking about, that's what you want. That's what you're desiring. So you're going to get it. You see what I'm saying? You're going to get it. Think back on your life. How you been vibrating and what have you been getting? It's obvious. It's right there. People thought law of the attraction was some new thing. We've been doing law of attraction, but we've just been doing it on a low vibration, negative frequency. We're using law of attraction. We have been in the past, and we're drawing in all this negative stuff, all these challenges, all this. Even though it's part of the growth, it's part of the growth. You know what I'm saying? We have to go through that period. But I'm talking to people who are at that stage where you've had enough. You've had enough. I'm talking to the chosen ones. I'm talking to the people who know what's good. And I'm talking to the rest, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to the whole world. But in particular, people who can feel this, who this resonates with. It's time to make the transition. Stop waiting for the others. Trust me. Stop waiting. Just do you. Stand up. Be strong. Be that strong, courageous soul that you really are in here. Activate it and do what you got to do, man. Anyway, people, that was my nighttime video, and just keep it positive. Try your best. It's hard sometimes. It's hard. When you're walking this path, it is. And I'm going to keep stressing that. It's hard, it's beautiful, it's rewarding, but it's hard when you're letting go of that three-dimensional place. Because you have to go through this grieving process and realize that most of the things, relationships, friends, people, things that you own, all of it is all an illusion, and it's all fake, and it doesn't define you. Because you've been defining yourself with all these things. And now when you realize that these things don't define you, it becomes scary because you don't know who you are. Because you've defined yourself with your material stuff and your clothes and your friends and the character that you put on when you're around your friends. And then when you realize that all this stuff starts fading, you realize, wow, this stuff is not even real, it's an illusion. Then the question comes, who am I? What am I? That's why it takes us so long. Because it's scary to be an adult or a teenager or whatever, and you don't know who you are. It's scary. But the only way to overcome it is to admit it, own this stuff, and go through the process within yourself, or whichever way you're going to find, whichever route you're going to find. Because once you start on this journey, I'm telling you, your higher self is going to guide you to places, and you're going to be guided. You're going to be all right. You just got to believe and trust, and know when to follow your intuition and know the difference between your mind, your ego, and your intuition. You got to know that. You got to decipher that. You got to be able to understand there's a difference between the intuition and the soul and the mind. There's a difference. There's a difference when you get the thoughts from the ego. It's always fearful. If you don't do this, then that's going to happen. If you don't, it's always quite like demanding. The soul is quiet, subtle, patient, waiting for you to wake up and hear its subtle voice. But because you've been listening to the ego too long, the noise, the distraction, the fear, it's hard sometimes to listen to that beautiful inner voice. But it's there. You've got to slow yourself down and listen. It's there. And that is God. We have a direct connection to the divine, a direct connection to God that's guiding us along our way. Only thing is that we listen to it. We do listen to it. But a lot of the times we go for the ego. And that's when we end up in all the bullshit. And then when we do listen to the true self here and there, you know when you listen to your true self and you have that time you just feel good, and you know, like you've had them days where you just feel like you're in a different place, in a beautiful, peaceful place. You had them little feelings here and there. That can stay. We just don't know how to. We feel like we don't deserve to stay in that place because this place is so scary. So we feel it, and then we feel like, cool, we've got to go back to this. I'm going back out now. You know what I'm saying? I've got to pattern up. We've got to realize we don't have to do that. That's fear. When you feel like you've got to change yourself to operate in this world, then obviously there's fear. You're afraid of people seeing who you truly are and how you truly feel. But it's alright. It's alright to feel these feelings. We all feel it. And the only way to overcome it is to admit it. The truth will set you free. That ain't no cliche. That's reality. So peace and blessings, people. I hope you have a beautiful evening. And we'll catch up soon. Peace.